Hi everyone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I am your host, Dr. Haider Shah. On behalf of Calvas, I would like to welcome all of you to this webinar. Thank you very much for joining us. Today we have another very interesting topic, and I'm really honored to welcome and introduce our distinguished guest speaker who is going to talk about appreciating the value of bibliometric data and analysis. In today's digital age, understanding the impact of scholarly research is more crucial than ever. Bibliometric data and analysis provide valuable insights into the influence and reach to academic work, shaping the future of research and innovation. So we will discuss into the world of bibliometric, exploring its significance in evaluating research productivity, identifying emerging trends, and making informed decisions. Really very interesting topic, and I'm sure you will learn a lot from this session because we have an expert with us in today's this session. So stay tuned because amazing stuff are coming ahead in this session. So before we start, I would like to thank all of us for arranging such enlightenment sessions, for their support and providing us such a wonderful platform. The aim of Calvas is to give you the opportunity to connect and interact with world-renowned speakers, academic leaders, teachers, authors, researchers, experts, professionals, and businessmen to learn from their experiences and recommendations, which will create an impact and will enable you to learn and develop yourself in order to grow and transform individually, as well as to contribute to the world in a positive way. As our slogan is come, learn, and share knowledge. So today we have amazing person as guest. He is a well-known person in academia and industry with vast experience from leading institution. He is a great human being. We always see him while contributing to the world and always ready to share his knowledge. So let me introduce him formally. He is the head of program MBAs and assistant professor in the Graduate Business School, top 150 to 200 QS World Ranking 2023 at UCSI University, Malaysia. His research mainly emphasized digital consumers and the technological impact on businesses. His publication appear in the SSCI Scopus Index journals, including a ranked journal by the EBDC 2022 journal quality lists, such as the Journal of Retailing and Consumer Services, elsewhere, SSCI, Marketing Intelligence and Planning, the Emerald SSCI, among others. In addition to that, he has also published research-based book chapter in a wide range of books published by reputed publishers such as Routledge, Taylor and Francis, the IJ Global, etc., where he highlighted the business management and marketing pathway in his teachings. Moreover, his educational visits include several institutes in the Asian regions such as Singapore, Vietnam, Cambodia, the Philippines, Indonesia, and India. He has published 10 journal articles, Scopus and Web of Science, based on bibliometric analysis in the year of 2023 alone. He was invited to conduct training on bibliometric and other techniques at several universities, including UKM, Asia University, Malaysia, and Nest Academy, UAE. Last but not the least, he's a wonderful speaker, author, teacher, researcher, professional, and above everything, a great human being. So please help me in welcoming our guest, Dr. Omkar Dastane. Welcome to the Calvas platform, and thank you very much for joining us.
Yeah, Dr. Haider, thank you so much for this formal introduction. And, it gives, I feel like I am somebody after listening to this introduction. I would also like to thank Calvas for providing this knowledge exchange opportunity. Calvas is quite consistent in terms of disseminating knowledge by coordinating with various speakers all over the world. And when I went through the YouTube channels of Calvas, I see hundreds of videos which are very enriching for PhD students, early career researchers, and educators. So thank you so much for providing this opportunity for researchers as well as for myself. A good evening to all the viewers of this particular session. Maybe I would like to share my screen now. So let me present
Thank
slides.
you. Yes, sure, sure. Thank you very much, Dr. Omkar, for your appreciation and for your kind words. And we really appreciate that you accepted our invitation and looking forward for this wonderful content which you are going to share with us. So over to you. Thank you once again.
Thank you. Thank you. My pleasure. So, just in the beginning, all the viewers, I went through the Calvas videos, right? I found a video related to bibliometric data and analysis. That is a quite comprehensive video which was presented by some of the renowned speaker earlier. That video covers a lot of aspects related to actual analysis, that is hands-on analysis. So what I did is I tried to be different so that I don't be repetitive and you can take advantage, or most of the advantage of this 1 hour. And also when this video would be published on the YouTube, you can have these 2 videos which will give you quite comprehensive view of bibliometric data analysis. So that's why my topic today is appreciating the value of bibliometric data and analysis, which is more towards the interpretation part of the data and analysis rather than going into hands-on analysis, which is already been conducted and organized by Kalwas in the past. Okay, so let's move ahead. My introduction and my profile has been already highlighted by Dr. Haider, so I don't repeat the same. So moving forward is my Google profile. So I just would like to highlight in the beginning, when I talk about appreciating the value of bibliometric data and analysis, I'm the one who incorporated in to my work before talking about it. So these are my publications in 2023, and I have 10 publications in top end journal. I have 3 ABDC A rank and rest ABDC B or C, and all journals, all of these articles are indexed in Scopus or Web of Science. In alone 2023 so far, I published 10 articles based on bibliometric data and analysis. And if you see, some of the articles are really gaining momentum. You know, they are published mid 2023, but already 10 citations, 9 citations for this article. So although there is a boom of bibliometric research and publications in recent years, slowly what editors are looking forward, what other bodies who are looking forward from your bibliometric articles, we are going to discuss this comprehensively in today's session. So what you can expect in this 40 minutes or 1 hour session is, first I will introduce what is the meaning of bibliometric data and how this bibliometric information can be used for analysis and how this analysis can be interpreted in different way. Secondly, I will highlight on data retrieval, how to get this data in order to analyze it further. And then we will talk about 2 main aspects of bibliometric analysis, that is performance analysis and network analysis. Of course, we can do much more apart from performance analysis, but network analysis. But looking at the time period and looking at this as an introductory session, I think we would restrict to performance analysis and network analysis. And finally, we will focus on writing a bibliometric paper. So if you're a PhD student, early career researcher, you may think of publishing a bibliometric paper in near future. So these are some tips for you all, how to go ahead with it and prepare your publication for a top end journal. Okay, so let us start with the introduction session. As this is one-way interaction, I would say one-way talking for next 40 minutes, 1 hour. I would appreciate if you can post your questions in the chat box. So later on, we will, Dr. Haider can raise the questions and I would answer to the same. So let us begin with the introduction. First of all, objectives of this short session, what we are going to actually learn in today's session. Number 1, we will understand what is bibliometric data and what is bibliometric analysis. In order to conduct bibliometric analysis, first thing we will know how to search and retrieve the data. So participants will be able to search and retrieve data effectively and without errors at the end of the session. Secondly, once we have this, we will understand how to conduct the analysis. So what are the various analysis? We will focus on performance analysis and network analysis. Then we will understand, when you are publishing a paper, when you're trying to come up with a study, how exactly you can select a topic. Because once we have a topic or once we have an objective, then only we can conduct bibliometric analysis related to that objective. And finally, we will share some tips on writing a bibliometric paper and what editors are looking for, what reviewers are looking forward from your bibliometric paper. So let us first understand the meaning of word bibliometrics. You know, it's not new. It's very old science, particularly originating from library science or documentation science, that is administrative science. So if you see the definition 1969 by Alan Pichard, the application of mathematics and statistical methods to book and other media of communication. So it's a book, and other media of communication is a journal, a book chapter, or it can be editorial, or some other aspects, some other documents which gets published. So when it comes to bibliometrics, the literal meaning of this term is book measurement. But the term is used about all kinds of documents. That is, like just now I gave the example. And what is measured? It does not measure the physical properties, that is size of the book or weight of the book, but it measures the other aspects like authorship of the book, sources, subjects, origin, the citation received, etc. So bibliometric is nothing but a study of quantitative aspect. So when we see bibliometric review, or when we publish paper based on bibliometric review, it's not qualitative review. Systematic literature review is a qualitative review, but bibliometrics review is a quantitative review. Is quantitative data convert into or interpreted into various qualitative aspects. So this is quantitative aspects of production, dissemination, and use of recorded information. So just to give you clear-cut example, what is bibliometric information? So you can see this is an article, journal article published. This is the name of the journal, Journal of Retailing and Consumer Services. Okay, this is title, the development and validation of a scale, etc., etc. These are the authors of this particular article. So these authors wrote this article, and these are the affiliation of authors. Then the addresses of the authors, and comes abstracts. Yeah? After abstracts, there are keywords. And then finally, at the end of the article, there are references. So bibliometric information is this part of the article, which information gives you insight into many aspects. For example, for this particular article, what information this bibliometric data gives? It gives that from where the author belong to. Are they from one country, or they are from different country? Is this article funded by somebody, or this article is self-funded? What are the keywords used in this particular article? Is it related to mobile commerce? It's related to customer perceived value? It's related to finance? It's related to what? What are the keywords used? And then this article is based on what other articles, what are the references used to write this article? This information is called as bibliometric information, is very important for understanding some aspects which are not qualitative in nature, which we cannot understand by reading the article. We need to compile this data related to one field, and then we can generate further insights from this. So how we can make use of this? What are the applications of this bibliometric data? There are a number of applications. Number one, you can see to assess the impact and quality of research output. For example, a particular journal articles, how much impact it is generating, how many people are citing this particular article. To identify research trends and growth. So in a particular field, what are the current trends? How the publication or what particular topic in the field is growing? For example, if I tell retailing, so last time it was electronic commerce, then mobile commerce was in the boom, then live stream e-commerce was in the boom, then now metaverse, researchers are publishing about metaverse. So if I analyze bibliometric data related to retailing, I can see these are the trends and growth of a particular topic in this field. It can be also used to forecast the future publishing trends, to create a visual representation of research collaborations and network. So you can see there are 3 authors from 3 different countries, for example, or maybe from 3 different university. We can predict and we can see how research been collaborated in this particular field. To analyze the productivity of stakeholders, who are the top authors? We can, if you are into the field and going through various bibliometric articles, you always see top authors, top 10 authors, top 10 researchers, top 10 institutions, top 10 countries in this particular field. So we can analyze this productivity of stakeholders. To evaluate the impact of research projects, because some articles are based on research projects. So how successful was this research project? To identify the research collaboration opportunities, and to identify areas of strength and weaknesses, that is core gaps. There are many more other applications, but all these applications I'm going to demonstrate through the examples how actually we can use the bibliometric data for all these range of various applications. Now, who is interested to know the findings of bibliometric analysis. Okay, so we understand that we need to do bibliometric analysis, maybe to do a literature review for our PhD thesis, or maybe to publish a paper, maybe to understand the trends in a particular field. But who is interested to know this? Number one, government and funding agencies for investment and grant approvals. Many of us submit grant proposal for top funding agencies like Asia Development Banks. We may apply to UNESCO funding. We apply to many other funding agencies. They may go through bibliometric information related to particular author or related to particular field in order to understand the gaps, in order to understand the patterns in that particular field. Next, universities for benchmarking purpose, for strength and weaknesses, for recruitment and ranking. You can see QS ranking, top 100 universities, top 200 universities. Bibliometric analysis is very helpful in identifying which university in near competition is growing faster in terms of publication. In QS ranking, if I'm not wrong, 30 marks are being allocated for Scopus publication. So if one particular university would like to see, for example, one university has 150 rank, another university 155, both are competitors, maybe from same country. University A can go to the Scopus data, do the bibliometric analysis to identify the pattern of University B and what we can do in next year to beat the competition. So it's for benchmarking purpose. Secondly, ranking agencies also use the same to identify who is at the top. Then to do the recruitment, you won't be surprised if dean of a particular faculty, if all the resumes are receiving very good quality resume, H index is very high, they are doing good in terms of their research, maybe dean may use bibliometric data to see what is the collaboration index, what is the collaboration reach of a particular researcher, how I can select from 3 researchers having same H index, where I can prefer to recruit what kind of candidate to my department. So this is something valuable for bibliometric data, and as a researcher we should understand how this data works. Even for faculties, they can use it for collaboration, recruitment and training. For example, my particular faculty may say, okay, I want to collaborate with some university in the UK. Which university is doing good in one particular field? For example, retailing, for example, metaverse. Which university is doing good in metaverse? I want to collaborate, identify the faculty, write email to them, can we have a collaboration? Rather than I write to universities whose research focus is not metaverse, maybe I would write to another university who is active, or faculty who is active in this particular research. Even individual researchers these days may be very interested in their bibliometric data. You might be aware, all the viewers, that recently Stanford University published a list of top 2% authors in the various field in last week, if I'm not wrong. If you see the list, how they generate this top 2% list in the field, some of the researchers were surprised. Their Scopus citations were 5,000, 3,000. Scopus H index was high, but their name was not in top 2% list. On the other hand, there were some researchers only 1,000 Scopus citation, but their name was in the top 2% list. The methodology was maybe they look for H index, they look for high impact factor journal publication, and it considers self-citation as well as citations by other researchers. So how Stanford researchers come up with this top 2% list? Based on bibliometric data. If researchers know the methodology and the importance of this bibliometric data, with less number of publication, with less number of citation, with clear focus, they can be in the top 2% list. That is why appreciating the bibliometric data and the analysis is something important for individual researchers as well. And for librarians, of course, this is an old science, mainly originated for library science, and therefore librarians, in order to collect books, in order to have a comprehensive record in the library, they should be always involved in bibliometric analysis. Okay, now coming to our objective, that how we can use this bibliometric data. Definitely we can use for literature review papers. So there are many type of reviews like narrative review, systematic literature review, scoping review, metasynthesis. Similarly, there is something called as bibliometric review, reflection using bibliometric analysis and review based on quantitative aspects of bibliometric data. Okay, so as a researcher, we can use it for this particular thing. So as we understand the objective and the parties which are interested in this bibliometric data, now let us see what you need to know and what are the prerequisites so that you understand how to conduct bibliometric analysis and appreciate the value. Number one, the knowledge. Of course, basic knowledge about bibliometric data and publication we are going to share. You must have some tools to conduct the analysis, and at the same time, you must have some material in order to conduct this analysis. So I'm going to explain all these things at the end of the session. You may get this all open access material free of cost available through Google search, and you can download and you can practice on your own. And also please do refer to Kalwa's video on bibliometric analysis a few weeks back. That's very handy for you to actual conducting the analysis. So today we are going to restrict on the interpretation of the same. So there are many tools, but I would recommend these two tools, easy to go with and quite comprehensive and free of cost available. Number one is a BiblioShiny app in RStudio. You can click on this particular link later on, this link, Bibliometrics, and you can download RStudio, and then you can put some commands to generate your BiblioShiny app. And then another one is WashViewer. WashViewer is more about conducting network analysis. Okay, so this also you can click on the link and download this software and try hands-on practice at the end of the session. Okay, so let us first start with retrieval of data. As we understand what is bibliometric data, the next is how to retrieve this data. In order to retrieve the bibliometric data, we need to go to the index where this data is being recorded or indexed. There are many indices. If you aware of, like Web of Science, Scopus, Dimensions, EBSCO, Google Scholar, and so on. There are many considerations when we select particular index. Number one, let's see one by one. I'm going to talk about top three indices. Number one is Web of Science. If you see some statistics related to Web of Science, right, it is more comprehensive when it comes to engineering related publications. When we see business and management, for example, my field is marketing management, business and management. If I see here management or social science, this is social science, is good coverage, but not excellent coverage. Okay, so if you want to publish article related to your field, you need to check which index is quite comprehensive. For example, you are from medical background, maybe Web of Science is not for you. Maybe you go for PubMed. Maybe if you from social science, then next is Scopus. So if you go for Scopus, you see 82 plus million articles, and it's quite good database in terms of business and management. A lot of articles related to business and management are indexed in Scopus. Therefore, another thing I would like to highlight is good to have a good volume of data. There is no rule as such that how many numbers of bibliometric data set you must have in order to analyze. I have seen paper in top journal with only 150 bibliometric data. I have also seen paper in top journal ABDC A rank with 3000 bibliometric data set. So it depends on field. Maybe for some field there are not many papers available. But of course, you cannot have bibliometric analysis with data set of 30 or 40 or something like that. Okay, so you need to see which field you belong to, what index provides comprehensive overview. Apologies for the typo here. Okay, then you can filter it out accordingly. Next is HJR. This is also a quite good platform for you to search the articles and retrieve the bibliometric data, and then of course Google Scholar. Now Google Scholar is freely available for everyone. For Web of Science and Scopus, we need to have membership. If your university offers it's well and good. If not, the Scopus only disadvantage, Google Scholar only disadvantage is any and every articles get indexed into Google Scholar. So we cannot have the quality check of the article. So of course, we don't want to base our analysis on the data which is not rigorously peer reviewed. I'm not saying all articles indexed in Google Scholar are bad, but there is no evidence that a bad article may not be in the Google Scholar. But Scopus, there is a quite comprehensive peer review method, and only selected journal are being indexed in the Scopus. So it's good to go for, based on your field, based on your topic, which index to which index to select for retrieving the data. Once you select the index, then you need to provide a search query in that particular index for retrieving the data. For this, we use a range of techniques. So I'm just going to glance it through quickly. For hands-on training, you can refer to another video. So this search techniques, right, we can use many aspects. For example, booleans. If I want data related to employee empowerment, I have a choice either to write a word employee empowerment, or I write a word employee and empowerment. So how I make my search quite comprehensive in order to include as many as publication index in that particular platform, so that I retrieve maximum bibliometric data and accurate bibliometric data. So sometimes you can use or, sometimes you can use and, sometimes you can use not, based on what I'm going to show you full example of search query later on. So sometimes for example, I want to collect data related to customer value in mobile commerce. Okay, so I may use a term customer value and mobile commerce. What will happen? I'll get the articles related to both customer value and mobile commerce. If I just use customer value, I may get articles related to customer value in traditional commerce, e-commerce, omni-channel, everywhere. Okay, this is just an example, but you need to further make your search query comprehensive. There are many advanced techniques in order to make the search query comprehensive. For example, you can use double inverted comma. So instead of writing Manchester United, you can say double inverted comma Manchester United, or you can use asterisk. So this is like recruit and asterisk mark. So if I do this particular word in a search query, I will cover multiple keywords. For example, recruit, recruiting, recruitment, recruit, anything which starts with recruit, ends with ing or ments, all parts will be covered. So it's good to have asterisk mark. For example, I want to do search on ethical marketing or marketing ethics. So I may use a word double inverted comma marketing and ethic, ETHIC asterisk mark. Then my search query will cover ethics, ethical, all other terms related to ethic. Then use of parentheses, a search specific website. For example, you can give this in a query, find specific file type, or narrow down your titles and narrow down your URLs. You can also narrow down the field. For example, you give a search, then in that particular search, there would be articles from engineering, information technology, medical. You may restrict to business and management. You can also restrict to number of years. You can see many bibliometric paper talks about 20 years of research, 30 years of research. So you restrict for past 20 years, 2002 to 2022. You can have a time span for your bibliometric search. So this is how the platform looks like. If you go to the Scopus and you write your search query, you give all the aspects related to your query, and you can come up with the result. So I just, before going through this, I will show you how the search string looks like. So you can see climate change asterisk mark, then or is a Boolean operator, global warming. Now you see these are the synonyms, climate change, not exact synonym, but these are the similar fields: climate change, global warming, extreme weather, the truncation, climate variability, climate risk, and all that. So if you want to search an bibliometric data related to one particular field, you need to understand only using one word is not sufficient. For example, ethical marketing. How you can just search ethical marketing if there are some other articles which talks about unethical practices of salespeople? There is no marketing word here, but still you need to capture that particular article in your bibliometric data. That's why many bibliometric papers, they get rejected because the search query is not well formulated. If you're doing bibliometric analysis, understand that having a comprehensive and a error-free search string is very important. We published one article on women financial inclusion. You know, we use a lot of brainstorming among our collaborators that what can be various synonyms related to that. And then after understanding all the aspects, we still miss one important aspects related to it, which we realize later during review process, and then we again go back, collect data, and revise our analysis. For example, women financial inclusion, the total different set of words but gives the same meanings about women financial inclusion is gender disparity in finance. Gender disparity in finance also covers many articles related to women financial inclusion. Therefore, when you select your topic, understand it clearly and comprehensively that what number of keywords, what type of keywords results in this particular field, and you should not miss any important articles related to this particular field. Okay, so going back, maybe you come up with 1874 articles, then you can put additional filters, for example, access type, or number of years, or author name, subject area, documentation type, publication. Maybe you want to restrict to only journal article, you want to exclude review articles, you want to exclude book chapters, you want to exclude editorial, is up to you. And with valid justification. Document type, source title, keywords, affiliation, funding, sponsor, you can include or exclude all these things. You may restrict only English language articles, or you may restrict only articles from one particular country based on your objective. Maybe you want to find out who are the top 10 publisher, who are the top 10 researchers in Singapore. Then maybe you restrict to one particular country or territory, and so on. Okay, so once you do it, you can export the data. You have choices, but generally we export in CSV, or it's up to you how you export the data, and then finally you get a file. So I have a file to show the demo, but I think we limit it to interpretation. I'm just giving this introductory part. You can definitely later on try on this, and maybe, or if we want hands-on session, maybe Dr. Haider can think of arranging another session for that. And once we have the article data set, bibliometric data set with us, we can go with exclusion inclusion criteria. This is also very important for any type of literature review, that you have some protocol. One of the popular protocols is Prisma protocol, if you heard of. How to select article, how to list inclusion and exclusion criteria, what is the justification and logic behind the same. So for example, you receive 2,000 papers, after application of protocol and after application of inclusion exclusion criteria, you may end up in final 600 papers only, bibliometric data related to 600 papers. So this is also based on objectives of your research. Then we come to the analysis and interpretation part, like how to appreciate the value and what we gain from this bibliometric analysis. So once you have this basic data set with you, once you have basic tools like BiblioShiny or WAS viewer with you, then we can conduct analysis. Now, first type of analysis is called as performance analysis. Now, of course, the question is, what comes under performance? Number one, yearly production in the field. How many articles produced in 2023? How many articles produced in 2022? Very important. If you see Stanford 2% list, they have two different type of list. One year-wise list, 2023, who are the top 2%? And they have career list over the period of time throughout the career, who are 2% authors in career, that particular classification. So the performance is maybe based on yearly production. Then there is something called a yearly production rate. This is important for us to understand in which field the production rate is high. For example, articles related to artificial intelligence are on the boom. If you see bibliometric data and analyze, you can see 53%, 26%. I see two particular topics, 56% yearly recent growth. On the opposed to this, there are some field only 3%, 4% production rate. So we can analyze the production rate to see what are trending topics. As a researcher, we must be always on the toes to see what are the burgeoning topics and which topics we should be catching on to make sure that we are, we are following the latest trends. So generative artificial intelligence, virtual reality, augmented reality, these are something which are growing. So if you conduct bibliometric analysis for your own purpose to identify the priority area for your research, the yearly production rate becomes important. Publication by subject area. Which subject area is popular in this? Many universities are encouraging to go for multidisciplinary approach or interdisciplinary research area. What are the topics are overlapping in few of the disciplines? You can identify through bibliometric analysis. Most productive authors. Maybe I come up with one particular paper. uh, I'm looking for a co-author. I'm looking for a good profile person who can really help in my topic. I should be what I can use of bibliometric data is I can find out top 10 authors in my field in that particular subject area, and I can approach those top authors and invite them to collaborate for my particular research. That is how the bibliometric information plays important role. The most prominent articles, which articles I should look for. You come up with your conceptual framework and you're looking for a strong supportive articles. It's good to go for top or prominent articles in that field rather than some new articles or some which are not published in good journal. You support use them as a support for your conceptual framework. The most prominent countries, maybe I want to talk about a particular field. For example, omni-channel retailing. uh, I can find out where omnichannel retailing is very prominent. Maybe UK, Australia, New Zealand, USA. I can find few countries where omnichannel retailing is quite mature. Then I can base my review or I can base my research on those particular countries. It gives me a good justification why I'm collecting data from those countries. Maybe I talk about live stream commerce, where the live stream commerce is very trending and many users are using it. I see the top 10 country, I find number one China. Maybe then it's good to collect data from China related to topic from live stream commerce, because you can find a good sample size giving you inputs or responses related to your questionnaire. Okay, that is how we can use this bibliometric data. The most prominent journal where I should publish my article. What are the top journals in this particular? And then most prominent funding sponsors. Who are the funding agencies providing the fund? So I'm talking in both way. I'm interpreting this performance analysis not only for writing a paper, but our use as well. So how we conduct it? So in terms of writing the paper, we must have a research question, or conducting a research, we must have a research question. So what kind of research questions can be there when it comes to performance analysis? Number one, what is the volume and document citation by time? This will be more about production, yearly production rate, etc. What are the top journals in the field? You can have what are the top authors, what are the top publications, what are the top countries, or you can have like what are the prominent stakeholders in the field of green consumption research. Maybe if this is your research question, you can conduct a lot of analysis from this in order to get answer for this research question. Okay, so when we use the bibliometric information, we can get this. After analysis, we can get this particular output like annual scientific production. You can see for one particular field, I have generated this annual scientific production map. You can see year 2019, 2018, 20 exponential growth in the field. So this is how we can get insights. It was very slow earlier, then it was growing, and we can find exponential growth in this particular area, in this particular year, about this particular topic. Okay. Secondly, word growth. We can also use the keywords of bibliometric data, and we can see which particular word is growing over the period of time. So you can see here, for example, blue color. So you can see male humans, or you can see workplace, adult. So you can select particular topic, and you can see a particular words are showing a growth over a particular time. So we can interpret this as one of the findings, that how and what particular aspects are growing. We can also find out trending topics through bibliometric analysis. So you can see this particular field, right? COVID-19, of course, is a trending at that particular point of time. Then you can filter out top 5 words which are the trending topic, maybe 2020 to 2022. But then you can also see 2012 to 14 which were the trending topic. So as a researcher, we can have a good insight using bibliometric data how in this particular field there were different topics were trending at different period of time. That gives us a very valuable information how this field has evolved over the period of time. And based on this, we can provide future research agenda as well. Also, these are the top articles. It will comes with author name and year, and these are the citation. We have different methodologies. We can filter top authors based on number of publication, or based on H index, or based on the citation, based on the global citation or local citation. So we have variety of analysis techniques to gain these insights. Then you can see country specific production. So for a particular topic, the more blue it is, more number of documents published, and uh, and as the color changes, you can see the production is different. So you can see here China, USA, Australia, quite number of documents produced, and so on. So this gives again very important information about a particular field. Then we also can have source growth. For example, journal. So you can see a particular topic. Career Development International is a journal which has received a lot of articles, and it published a lot of articles related to one particular field. So if you select a particular field and conduct this particular analysis, you can uh, interpret, or you can identify which journal grow over the period of time. So which journal can be, maybe you are looking for a special issue and you are thinking that my special issue should get more impact, more citation, and it should have a better reach. Maybe you select a journal by doing this quick bibliometric search and find out which journal has grown over the period of time, and now which journal is trending. You can see exponential growth, orange color. So also, sorry, Career Development International, and this one is a social science and medicine. So you can see which journal is growing quickly, and you can select it accordingly. So these are the number of aspects we can learn for us individual researcher, and for publication of paper, for interpretation by conducting performance analysis. Next comes network analysis. In terms of network analysis, what kind of research questions we can have? Number one, what is the intellectual structure of a particular field? For example, green consumer research. What is the intellectual structure of green consumer research? Or ethical marketing. What is the intellectual structure of ethical marketing? The meaning of intellectual structure is what are the various aspects being researched by the researchers so far, and how this research can be classified into various clusters, can be identified by using network analysis. What are the emerging themes in this particular topic, and what are the core research gaps? These are the key research questions we can ask, and we can identify answer to this question through network analysis. We use was viewer for network analysis. So you can see here number of techniques again, like performance analysis. We have yearly production, we have top number of countries, and so on. For network analysis, we can do number one. Let us first understand what is network. Network is it's a social network and is made up of actors, that is people, organization, and groups that are tied by social links. For example, in a particular field, how authors from various countries are tied together in terms of collaboration of publishing together, or in terms of citing each other's work, and so on. A network diagram shows a collection of entities, that is nodes and vertices, linked by a type of relationship, and these are the edges. Okay, so there are many softwares again to conduct network analysis, but WAS Viewer is one of the popular one. And then what is the inputs for this network analysis? We can do it through citation analysis as well. So citation is what? The network simply shows who has cited whom, and can be based on author's document, etc. For example, you can see here, this is paper C and this is paper D. Now paper C cites paper P and Q. So this paper is citing these two paper, and also paper R. And this paper is citing also PQR. So what is common between paper C and paper T? The common thing is both of these paper are citing PQR together. And what is common between paper P, Q, and R? This common that both of them are citing paper A and B. So if we trail it down, we can see paper A and paper B something originating. Maybe they are foundational in this particular idea. And then these papers are based on the particular foundation. So there are many insights we can gain from citation analysis as well. Similarly, we can do co-occurrences of keyword, that is number of co-occurrences of two keywords in the number of publications in which both keyword occur together in title, abstract, or anywhere. For example, I set a boundary that I want to generate a co-occurrence diagram or network diagram based on articles which repeats 5 keywords, minimum 5 keywords. So this will give me a diagram, or this will give me a cluster of network. One particular cluster will have more than 5 number of keywords repeating all the time, and it can be based on co-authorship as well. It will give me, like, this is a citation we can get for co-authorship as well. Okay, then there is something called as co-citation analysis, like other way round of citation analysis. So here we see this paper citing these 3 papers, right? So here paper A and B are associated because they are both cited by paper C. So C citing A and B together. So A and B, there is some relationship. Okay, so here we see other way around. C and D has a relationship because both of them are citing PQNR. Now here we are talking A and B has a relationship because C citing both of them. Okay, so we can have this kind of network analysis. Or bibliometric coupling. Paper A and B are bibliographically coupled because they have paper C, D, E in their references. So not only one paper, there are 1, 2, 3, 4. Out of 4 papers, 3 papers cited by A and B together. So there is definitely something very common or some common research area they are talking about, paper A and B talking about. So through this, what kind of analysis our WASP viewer can give us? So you can see this example, one particular field, we uploaded the keywords in WASP viewer and the diagram is generated. And you can see the green color, one cluster of countries working together. These 2 countries are working together on one particular topic. Red clusters quite big, number of countries collaborating on one particular cluster. They are associated with each other. Or here is about women financial inclusion. So you can see 4 main clusters coming out from this. So this is a co-occurrence analysis based on a keyword, based analyzing the keywords grouped together. What intellectual structure, this is called as unraveling or untangling of intellectual structure of the field, and we can see different type of clusters talking about different research focus and research area. Is again another example based on authors or based on papers, how these papers are grouped together. Then we can go on and we can interpret how this what we identified in this particular thing. Okay, so we definitely can identify current intellectual structure. We can identify the gaps, core gaps in the research. For example, this intellectual structure, maybe 4 aspects are there related to women financial inclusion, but based on our review and current trends, there are something else going on. For example, digital finance is growing everywhere, or digital inclusion is growing everywhere. So maybe one of the gap in current women financial inclusion is there is not much paper based on digital finance. So as an output of bibliometric analysis, we can give future research agenda that all researchers working in women financial inclusion can think of including digital finance in that particular as a priority research theme. That becomes your contribution of research paper. Now we come to the, I will sum up in 5-10 minutes. So we come to writing a bibliometric paper. Okay, don't use it as a template, but generally this is a rough structure we can have. Like, we have an introduction which talks about rationale, purpose, and potential contribution of paper. Second comes the background literature, sorry for the typo, a short review of literature showing the need for conducting a bibliometric analysis, and then the methodology you use in this particular bibliometric analysis, then the findings and discussion, and finally conclusion and implications. But then, before going to the detail, I would like to highlight the bibliometric papers are on the boom, particularly last 2 to 3 years. It's not that earlier there were no bibliometric paper. If you go through 2005, 1997, even I can trace back 1983 good bibliometric papers. 2015, 2017 also there are a number of bibliometric papers. But then suddenly after 2019, 2020, a lot of bibliometric paper came into the picture. Specifically COVID-19 lockdown, because many researchers could not go out and collect data during COVID-19. and there were so many countries under lockdown. Maybe you circulate e-questionnaire also, people were not in the mood to give you responses. So many researchers, rather than keep being at home and not doing any research or just writing a literature review, they conducted bibliometric analysis. And then suddenly this lot of bibliometric analysis paper come into the picture. This particular paper, right, how to conduct bibliometric analysis, very popular authors, Satish Kumar, Weng Maklim, Mukherjee, Naveen. These are very, I will say, stalwarts, and recently they published a lot of bibliometric papers. This particular paper is a methodology paper, a guiding article, how to conduct a bibliometric analysis, an overview and guideline. You can see 2021, 3,000 plus citation just within 2 years of time. Not even just maybe 2 years finished, completed. So bibliometric papers are very popular. If you're looking for a good paper to complete in short time, bibliometric paper is one of the avenue for you. Sometime we cannot collect data, but we have KPI of publishing paper. Maybe PhD student, you have a requirement in your university, you must publish 1 or 2 papers. You collected data, you published 1 paper. Second paper, only literature review or something else. This is opportunity for you. However, you must understand there are many aspects related to the same which we should highlight. That bibliometric paper also getting rejected these days. The number of rejection rate is also quite high for bibliometric papers. Let us understand why this happens and what you should do from the beginning. Okay, number one, how to select a topic. Before I go into the detail of selecting topic, let me tell you first, it is very important that the bibliometric analysis and research you are doing, it has some value in terms of contribution. There must be a strong theoretical contribution, like you are giving core research gap, you are giving a future research direction, rather than you are just giving interpretation of performance analysis. So the descriptive analysis is not that adding value into extant literature, but your implications and theoretical contribution of your paper. Number two, there should not be bibliometric paper on your topic. If there are 5-6 bibliometric paper already published, why you again go and conduct bibliometric analysis? Unless you are doing it after 10 years, then you say, okay, last 10 years there is no bibliometric paper. The papers were based on data from 2002 to 2012. Then there is different story. But it's good to have bibliometric topic related to area which is not being analyzed using bibliometric information. Then how you can select the topic and what you can analyze. Number one, try to go for classical theory or established topic. Always there would be new insights into that particular aspect. Restrict to one particular field. You may think of a particular topic in one field rather than focusing on other field. You may limit to the subfield as well. For example, rather than business and management, you just restrict to marketing management. So your search is based on marketing management. Or you can focus your analysis based on journal and special issues. You can also see bibliometric analysis, 50 years of Journal of Business Research, what it achieved, or how special issue added value into International Journal of Bank Marketing. It can be a good topic to analyze how it becomes, what is the success story of special issue, what they really contributed. Okay, or you can go for definitions. You can go for one particular variable, employee turnover, and analyze. You can go for one variable. Maybe you can select a variable called variable called purchase intention, or variable called brand personality, and then analyze that variable's bibliometric information. Or go for a theory. There are bibliometric papers based on a theory. For example, theory of planned behavior or technology acceptance model, 20 years of technology acceptance model. There is a paper based on that. Or you can go for a methodology also. Maybe you can think of cognitive interview as a qualitative methodology, a bibliometric analysis. You can see past 20 years what happens in this bibliometric, what happens in this cognitive interview as a technique. Or you can think of netnography, bibliometric analysis of netnography papers in one particular domain, consumer behavior domain or something like that. Okay, so try to select a topic which is original, not already research, try to find out a topic which is trending, try to find a topic which has many implications, so many researchers would like to know. For example, some theories are like over research, right? Technology acceptance model, I heard some journals not accepting papers on time. Good to have bibliometric analysis to identify still what areas needs to be uh, uh, under researched or something like that. Okay, once you selected a topic, when you come up with a paper, right, please understand editors are looking for novelty. Is your paper novel? Is your paper something new, something original in your paper, or you're just giving descriptive aspects related to that field? Second, what is the contribution of paper? Cannot be you just keep on writing what are the uh, yearly production, what are the top authors, what are the top countries, and no contribution and implications to the theory or no aspects related to future agenda. Then rigor is something very important. Many even I as a associate editor or I as a editorial review board member or as a reviewer reject many paper if rigor is missing from the paper. Your paper should be rigorous in terms of methodology. Try to be comprehensive in terms of various range of analysis. Don't restrict only network analysis. Don't restrict to only performance analysis. Go further to see, for example, strategy map. Also conduct uh, bibliometric analysis related to three field spot. Conduct bibliometric analysis related to evolution of themes. Try to be rigorous in terms of methodology as well as analysis. Then editors are looking for what type of theme and topic you are going for, and is it related to their journal's focus? Most of this is very common that we submit to wrong journal. Our topic, maybe paper is very good, but not related to the journal, may get rejected. Sometimes it may happen that some editors are not at all open for bibliometric papers, and you can identify this because they openly put in their journal submission requirement guidelines to author that no review paper, not even bibliometric, but review papers are not accepted into some journals. So look for this particular thing. It was a time 2 years back, bibliometric paper used to get rejected, maybe because of unavailability of reviewers. There were not many reviewers which can review bibliometric paper, but now because many bibliometric papers are published and there are many researchers in this field, there are ample of reviewers. Okay, when you submit the paper, it goes for the review, right? What reviewers are look for? They look for, rather than they look for novelty, and of course they look for everything, but their mainly focus is about methodology and analysis, because implications and background is quite theoretical in nature. But if you make mistake in methodology and if you make mistake in analysis, then it's not good from reviewers part that we approve that paper. We can give revision to revise the background, but there is no point in giving the revision by saying your search query or search string is wrong. Then it's not rejection, it must be rejection. You rewrite the paper and submit, because you need to change a lot in methodology as well as analysis. So their emphasis is on analysis. And there is something called an editor reviewer paradox. The reviewers are more try to look for comprehensive and lengthy papers, but editors look for 8,000 words paper based on journal requirement or something like that. So we need to catch up to the both aspects and ensure that we live up to their expectations. Okay, so I hope I was rushing to finish in 1 hour's of time, and I try to cover as many things as possible. But I would really like to apologize for the viewer, because I could not incorporate hands-on training on bibliometric. Okay, but there is one video, I again repeat, in the Calvas library of the YouTube live session, and you can learn the hands-on session related to same. Okay, so I would like to thank for all the members. I assume it's active participation because you were doing something, some search string, or putting some questions in the chat box and so on. So I hope this session was contributory and it may help PhD students, early career researchers, and educators. At the same time, if somebody from the practice looking for this, try to learn the practical implications of the bibliometric data. So thank you so much for your patience, and I'm done with my particular session. My email ID was presented there, omkar.dastane@gmail.com. If anything you would like to contact me for maybe need your help, you stuck up with analysis, you would like to know, some many PhD students from many countries, they email me that can you help me, I stuck up in this particular analysis, I will be happy to help in your journey. Okay, so thank you, Dr. Haider, for your patience as well, and for this providing this knowledge exchange opportunity again.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Omkar. Really very wonderful content you have shared with our audience from around the globe. And I love the way you just describe each and everything. And what a nice explanation you have given about that. It's not the hands-on practice because we have already done that thing, and you covered another aspect. And I love the way you just related the title of this session with your own session, that appreciating bibliometric analysis is meant like that, and you devise your whole session in a wonderful way. I loved the way you just started with the objective, and then you talked about the definition of bibliometric, that mostly people, they are not aware of what does this bibliometric analysis mean, and from where it got its roots. So you have very nicely included all those aspects that people should know. What is bibliometric analysis, and then the prerequisites out of it. And I love that the way you just explain the application, the other considerations, and so many aspects were there. Not only the aspect of the author, which you just talked about in your introduction, etc., that how you are going to select the topic, the reviewer, the editor concerns, and all aspects. I would say it's a 360 approach to this bibliometric analysis. What a great, fine expert you are in this field. And I could see that everything was coming out of your mind and everything was flowing in a wonderful way, because you have a wonderful experience of publishing in the bibliometric. And that the way you were just highlighting the keywords, the static, the double commas, and how can you enrich your searching. That was a very nice, because we learned all those things in a very difficult way. But you shared these wonderful tips with our audience from around the globe in a so easy and nice way, that you just put the static and what does the static plays a role, which was very nice. And I think people would have enjoyed this session, because it was a very comprehensive session. Within a 1 hour, you just talked about the things which they cannot even learn in 3 months, because it was so heavy content. And I love the way it was. The slides were very simple, but at the same time very heavy in terms of the content, because it was highly rich content. Thank you so much for such a wonderful session. And Dr. Omkar, you have already addressed so many questions, but still there are very interesting questions. They are waiting for your illustration and explanation. So should we start with the first question, please?
Sure, sure.
Yeah. So, as you described yourself in multiple times in your session regarding the ethical word, so this first question is also regarding to the ethics one, and they want to ask that are there any ethical consideration associated with the collection and use of bibliometric data, and how should they be addressed? Yes, please.
Okay, so we are not collecting any empirical data, and there are no humans involved. So there is no typical ethical process what we conduct for our quantitative research or qualitative research based on interview. Also, the data is, I will say, is index data, and therefore, as far as you have the login credentials of a particular index, you can retrieve this data, which is allowed to be retrieved for a user of particular index. So there are no ethical aspect as such, what typically we say as an ethical process. However, there are other part of research ethics which we study during PhD, that as a researcher we must be ethical in terms of interpreting the findings. There is one very interesting paper by Professor Satish Kumar and Professor Weng Mak Lim on interpretation of bibliometric data. Some of the researchers may give very hypothetical view to the findings they generate from analysis, because it's qualitative, because you get the cluster, you get four different, for example, you get 4 or 5 clusters. how as a researcher I interpret that cluster, there must be some ethical considerations, or I will say there would be some un non-processed or non-governed ethics which we should know, rather than making it a hype, rather than make portray a wrong picture of our ethic, our bibliometric findings. As a researcher, we need to be abide by those practices. But as I go with the question, is there ethical process to be followed like we do for qualitative and quantitative? Then no, there is no such considerations.
Wonderful, very nice. And I think these are the doubts in the mind of the young researcher, and you people are here to guide them in the right direction. And that's why they were eagerly waiting for your session. And now there is one interesting comment for you, and they want to ask that, as you mentioned in the end of the session, that you are even ready to help the people. And one of our viewer, they say that any possibility to collaborate with you on writing bibliometric articles. So definitely Dr. Omkar has already mentioned his email address, and we will also put his description in the description of this video, that you can contact him. His social media is there, and we will provide the email address. If Dr. Omkar, you would like to say anything to this viewer, please comment.
Yeah, yeah, because maybe students or researchers could be from various background. So maybe somebody is from medical background or from engineering background. So in that case, it won't be possible for me to be a co-author because my field is different. But that does not mean I cannot help. I would happy to help from any background, because my expertise is with the methodology. So I would help in analyzing and ensuring that you don't make mistakes in analysis. Not necessary this collaboration means you need to put my name as a co-author. It's not necessary. So even if you have your own team and you are publishing your own paper, but you just need my assistance in maybe reviewing it, or maybe to add on how to make it more rigorous, or maybe to identify the mistakes with your analysis, I am happy to help for that.
Wow,
Of course,
wow,
no cost
wonderful.
involved. Don't worry.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you very much, and
This
very
is our
nicely
personal
you
obligation.
have
We must help you.
admitted.
Yeah.
Yes, true. Very nicely, you have admitted that we have certain limitation towards the field. If they are from the different fields, so definitely you will not be able to help in that regard. But of course, in methodology section, the analysis section, your expertise are there, and that's expertise not even limited to gain the co-authorship. Your all services are also there to guide them in the right way. Thank you very much, and I really like your this comment that we are here to correct the things, and we are here to help people. So that's the actual aim of our. Now, another very interesting question, they want to ask that what challenges do researchers and institutions face when dealing with the bibliometric data, and how can these challenges be mitigated? Yes, please.
Okay, this is good question, because many institutions and even researchers are not into bibliometric analysis. Number one, they don't have login for Scopus. They don't have access to Scopus or Web of Science because it does not come for free. So there is the amount charged by Scopus for the institutional logins and for individuals login as well. Apart from a cost needs to be paid for these indices to access, there are challenges in terms of the expertise. Maybe there are not many experts if we see smart PLS or CBMOS, there are many students and many researchers can use. But when it comes to bibliometric tools and techniques, maybe not everybody are using it. How institutions and researchers are mitigating it? Through sessions like Calvas is organizing. So by today's session, maybe there are many researchers who learn how to use bibliometric data and how to interpret the same way. Institutions these days are also organizing trainings. For example, UKM I visited last year with their faculty of business, economics and business, and train their staff and PhD students. In this way, universities are encouraging these particular trainings and supporting researchers to conduct research and deal with bibliometric data.
Very nice. Thank you very much for your wonderful answer. And I think you have removed a lot of doubts in the mind of the our viewers, particularly the young researcher, because the bibliometric analysis itself was a kind of fear in their mind that, oh, it is something out of world, but learn it. And a few of my students contacted me before this session and they said that, Dr. Shah, we have doubts that we are unable to run the R studio and the Vosphere, that whether we will be able to do it or not. But you have explained in such a wonderful way that you made it very easy for them. Even you have mentioned the link that how can they download them. Very nice, and you made it very easy for our audience from around the globe. Thank you so much, and I'm really enjoying the way you are giving answer because you are making easy things for the people. I think that's the beautiful part of the expert that they always come up with the easy solutions for the audience. This another question is very interesting, and they want to have your opinion as an expert that what do you foresee as the future trends and innovation in bibliometric analysis, since you have a wonderful grip on this bibliometric, and as an expert, how do you see the things moving in the future? Yes, please.
Okay, so there is a very big answer for this particular question, but I think I would restrict it to researchers, individual researchers, how these trends can impact. Maybe I would say in near future, or maybe it started, standalone bibliometric analysis would have lesser value than adding up another methodology in the bibliometric analysis. So hybrid literature review by using bibliometric data at the same time metasynthesis, or at the same time systematic literature review. Something of mixed methodology can have more rigorous findings and can result in better future direction or better contribution. So I would say rather than using bibliometric techniques stand-alone basis, is good to complement it with some other methodologies as well.
Wow, very nice. So, and thank you very much, Dr. Omkar, for your wonderful answer. I could see that the time has already exceeded, and due to time limitation, we have to end over here because you have already addressed so many questions because they wanted to ask, for example, the what are the sample size required, what are the minimum papers required, and which databases, which software, which you have already covered in wonderful slides, because these were the main concerns of the our audience that what should we be doing with journal and what are the main important things. So you have highlighted very nicely already in your slides. So I'm sure that people will be watching this session again and again in order to grasp the complete content because it's so heavy content. Thank you very much. I really enjoyed this wonderful session with you. And Dr. Omkar, at the end of the session, we ask our each guest regarding their message to the world. So, what is your message to the world as a speaker, author, teacher, researcher, trainer, learner, and educator? Yes, please.
So this is the most difficult question among all the questions. So I'm not sure whether I would be able to give any message to the world, but based on my small efforts to contribute towards the research fraternity, I would say rather than quantity, look for the quality. Although bibliometric teaches us to use quantitative data, but the output should be qualitative in nature, and therefore, in terms of contribution, maybe your contribution would be less if it is very impactful. At the bibliometric, what we get is from all the huge amount of data, we find top 10 authors, we find top 10 researchers, and we base this analysis based on H index and other factors. So not necessarily everywhere quantity will matter, but what matters in the long term is the quality. So maybe if you're a researchers, early career researchers, PhD student, don't run behind doing something a lot, but try to do something which has a lot of impact. So that is something 2 cents from my side.
Wow, wonderful message you have given to the world, and really the quality over quantity. Very impactful message you have given to the world, and even you have given a reference because you are a researcher. That in upcoming days we have to be very careful because they would not look into the quantity, but they would look after the quality. And I think it's a very powerful message to the world. Thank you very much once again. And to the audience, that please do follow our distinguished guest speaker through his research work, and you can email him for future learning and guidance. He is very generous and always ready to help the people. That's all we have time for today. And thank you once again, Dr. Omkar Dastane. And I would like to thank our audience who joined us. If you have any additional questions about information shared today, please email us or connect to the speaker directly through his email or social media. Thank you all for your support and liking our session. Stay tuned as many sessions are on the way. Please do not miss any session and